computer-based training and then a 1-hour brief prior to going into a 2-hour simulator, they will have seen a tremendous amount of the systems knowledge that we didn't have before, and actually the hands-on flying.
Well, consulting editor at Flight Global, David Learmount, joins us now live from London to talk a little more about the MAX 737 getting back on the market. Should and will the public trust this aircraft again? I mean, 2 crashes in 5 months.
Yes, it was appalling, and I still have problems now understanding how a global quality company like Boeing could have made the design mistakes that it did. It still completely baffles me. However, things have changed a lot since that time. Boeing has fully taken on board what the problems were, and the aeroplane is radically different now. It's not just got software tweaks. We're talking about almost completely rewritten software, but it's also got some additional hardware connections. Whereas before, if the system which provoked the confusion in the pilots, if that system were to fail as it did before now there are 2 systems and they both automatically check each other. And if they disagree by even a small amount, then the system itself shuts down and the pilots can fly the aircraft perfectly well without it altogether.
Right. But ultimately, the responsibility was entirely really on Boeing for this software problem. So what should be the penalties, for Boeing, and how important is it to set a judicial or legal example in order to really regain the public trust and the trust of their customers?
Well, I think the implication is that that there is a court case being brought against Boeing to test whether criminal negligence is involved. I think negligence is definitely involved, but in order to be criminally prosecuted, it has to be negligence at a criminal level. And I'm not a lawyer, so I wouldn't say that's going to be done. However, your implied early question was, are the customers going to trust it? I think most customers will. Some customers may reserve judgment for quite some time and watch it in the air and wait until a million flights have been done worthwhile. That's up to them. But I think most customers will accept it. Boeing it's gone through immense pain, and not just because of COVID. That's on top of all the other pain that they've had to go through. Now, it was all of their own making, but my God, have they been going through it.
Right. And I mean, how bad then are they actually struggling now after the 737 MAX catastrophe and then trying to re-enter the market now when we're still in the middle of a global pandemic?
Oh, I mean, I think Boeing will survive, but it will survive hugely damaged. But that's going to be true of an awful lot of other people. I mean, if there's only one other company that really you can compare Boeing on the civil side anyway, Boeing Commercial Airplane Company, and that's Airbus. Airbus is struggling a bit with orders as Boeing is because of COVID. I mean, the world has changed, but it will come back. Once we've got the world immunized and COVID is held at bay and we can go back to normal, one of the first things people start doing, there may be a momentary hesitation, but when they have the opportunity to travel, they take it. And I'm talking not just about business, I'm talking about leisure travel. I think that will come back even faster.
And will it come back as well? Because, I mean, quite honestly, Boeing is an American national champion that the U.S. would never want to see fail or have to leave the market.
Well, of course it would. What you've said is absolutely true. Boeing is a massive global name. It's not just an American brand name. Global. It's a global brand name. It's absolutely huge. This has been, I think, the greatest tragedy in Boeing's entire 100-year history. Nothing like it has happened to Boeing before. For more than 100 years, Boeing has been producing an exemplary product, which we've all come to trust. And I don't think that trust is going to go away overnight. If we're convinced, and I am convinced, that Boeing has done its homework and it has corrected the problems that caused these crashes, then I think that the public will not take too long to come back to it.
David Learmount, great to have you. Thanks so much for being with us. We appreciate it.